Today we are testing two of the biggest, baddest 72 inches on the market. I have the Scag V-Ride 72 and the Toro HDX 72. We're going to be testing it on some incredibly thick Florida Bahia grass. It's been rained on recently. It is thick and heavy duty, and this enormously steep overpass hill to see how high these things can climb and which one's best on slope.
And also, as a special treat, we are showcasing the new VPO tires. They are on this Toro here. Stay tuned, we're gonna get into exactly what is a VPO and why is it possibly better than a Tweel.
This is gonna be an awesome video. Come on! Guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to Dino's Lawn Care. This is Philip. He's the owner. He's letting us borrow this Scag V-Ride today. I'm super pumped. Thank you so much.
Yeah, dude.
We'll baby it. We'll bring it back to you.
Yeah, let me know how it does.
I can't wait. Thanks, man.
This right here is a tire with a prototype type name. It's called a VPO. It stands for Variable Pressure Operation. It has a really thick sidewalk. If I had to guess, it's like 28 ply. It's like that thick. And it has an air pocket in the middle. So you can run this tire with no air in it at all. You could puncture a hole, you could drill holes. Doesn't matter. It's stiff enough that it's going to hold the weight of this machine without any air inside. But what's cool about it is it has a valve stem where you can add 5 pounds of air. And when you do, it allows this tire to hold a lot more weight than that. So I got to back up a little bit and tell you about the Tweel. Michelin developed a wheel, and you may be familiar with it, that had no air in it at all. It just had plastic gills holding the rubber up. And the Tweel's been out for 7-8 years now. But Tweel has some limitations. One, Tweel is very expensive. They're about $800 a piece. Two, Tweel used to only top out at 750 pounds. Now they have a model that goes up to 875, I believe. The gills on the Tweel, the plastic gills, are very vulnerable. They crack easily, and when they crack, the crack runs all the way across, and then once one gill is lost, a chain reaction occurs where the other gills fall apart. And the loss of one of these wheels is painful. The other thing is the Tweel does not handle slopes well. It doesn't handle sand well, and it doesn't handle mud well. This stands to solve all of those problems. It's projected price is half of Tweel. So it's projected to come in at a retail price of $400. There will be a fitment guide, so you'll have to order specifically the tire and wheel. They're aluminum rims, by the way, which is cool, to fit your machine specifically, the offset and everything. But $400 retail. And this, because of the thickness of the sidewall, is killer on slopes. It's actually the best slope tire you can buy. A much longer wear life, no gill fracturing problems. It's good in mud, it's good in sand. Could be a game changer for our industry. Something we're very excited about. It's projected to be available early 2026. There's a very real chance that we get a first crack at supplying these to the market. And if that's something you're interested in, please comment VPO, that's Victor Papa Oscar, in the comment section below, and we'll reach out to you to set you up. Also, if you're interested in seeing us test this tire, we're gonna swing axes and shoot arrows and explode it. Also, put that down in the comment section below, put VPO destruction test or something. And we love your feedback. Now let's keep mowing. All right, now that you've seen the objective data of these cutting in the field, you can tune away if you like, but we're gonna tell you how we feel. We're gonna give you the subjective, our opinion of these two machines. Chip, take it away.
Honestly, I thought both of them cut really well. I have not cut with the V-Ride Scag before, and I was impressed. And I haven't cut much big Bahia with this HDX Grandstand, and I was really impressed. Both cut grass and through grass really far, and honestly left very little to no stragglers. I mean, in Florida Bahia, it's some of the hardest grass to cut. If you could cut this grass, you could cut Kentucky bluegrass, you could cut fescue, you could cut St. Augustine, you can cut everything. If you could cut this well, you can cut every single type of grass in the world. I was blown away. Both cut grass really, really well. Stu, what are your thoughts?
I totally agree. I felt like I was paying attention to at what point the motor started to struggle. At what speed was I going? It seemed to be the same speed with both mowers. It seemed to be visually the same amount of grass volume that hit that choke point. I'm also paying attention to how much grass is flying out and how far it's flying out. And I really felt like it was flying out the same distance with both, because the better they disperse grass, the better they're gonna cut. So I give them equal performance on cutting performance.
Yeah. As far as ergonomics, you know, I've always said I like standing behind a mower. I like that grandstand is stuck to that platform, a fold out platform. I'm behind it. I feel like I have a better sight picture, all these kind of things. But honestly, I felt like the V-Ride was comfortable. I liked its pad. I felt like the suspension and the platform was nice. I will say these VPO tires were maybe a little firmer than this machine normally is, but I felt very comfortable on the Grandstand. The HDX, I felt like it was very stable. As far as just like the basic controls on the Grandstand, I like that they're up front, not underneath my controls. On the Scag, if you want to touch your PTO or your throttle, it's underneath your steering levers and it's kind of hidden and it's a little bit more difficult to access. I like that the Toros were up front and away from my steering levers. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I like the pad on the Scags. I like the platform. It is springier than the Toro, but your feet are a little more confined. I'm still a fan of the stand behind. I like that you can fold the platform. I like that you can operate the Toro when the operator is not on the platform. On the Scag, if you step off, the machine shuts off. If you want to get off of this machine, you have to turn your blades off. You have to reach under here, turn them off, and you have to pull your brake to get off. And on the Toro, when you want to get off, you just step off. And as long as you're holding on to this, your blades stay on. So you can keep mowing while you're walking behind it. If you're in a dangerous slope situation, you could be off the machine. But if you let go of the handles, the engine will not shut off, just the blades will shut off. And when you come back to the mower and you depress either one of these, you're able to re-engage your blades. So it's a little quicker getting on and off. You're less likely to accidentally shut off.
Yeah, I appreciated that about the Toro too. What about the controls, these controls? Did you mind them where they are?
Controls, no, I do like them a little more accessible. This brake seems quite robust. Versus the Toro's seems a bit flimsier. But that brake is going to the hydraulics, so it's a very simple cable. And this is probably more of a...
This is a physical brake on your tire.
This is more of like a Flintstone brake into the tires.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have an opinion on what I like better there.
On the brake?
Yeah.
Deck height adjusting. I liked the Grandstand. It was more accessible and easier to see. I didn't have to like... That one I felt like I had to get off and really kind of try to understand.
Yeah, you do have to get all the way over here.
It has numbers on the right side and the left side of the plate. So if you don't find your number, you got to kind of look both ways. This one is just pretty, I don't know, it seems easier to me. Not a big deal, but easier.
This one's a little heavier too, I think.
Yep.
Maybe there's a little less of an assist spring on this, but this one goes to 6 and this one tops out at 5. You can operate this in the lockout position, which is beyond 5, like 5.5, but they have labeled that top position as 6 on the Scag here.
We did drag race them. They are the exact same ground speed.
Exact same ground speed, yep.
And as far as power goes, I mean, I'm usually a Kawasaki fan. I felt like both felt really good to me though, and both felt plenty powerful.
Ample power.
I never was bogging or thinking. I was actually more in a state of awe continuously of how little they both bogged, and they just ate up that grass. I mean, it looked like I was shooting continuous bales of hay out of this thing, just dense logs shooting out of it. And out of both of them, and I was really impressed with how much grass it could cut. What are your thoughts on serviceability?
The Toro Grandstand is the most serviceable stander on the market, hands down.
Yeah.
When this front plate is lifted up, you have all kinds of deck access. These covers pull off and go back on.
It's true.
This belt can be changed without any tools. The oil is easy to change, it's right there, accessible. This has the oil guard system, which is a 500-hour oil change.
So that back. The battery's underneath here, and it's super easy to change. The battery on the Scag is behind the seat, kind of inside the column.
Our mechanics take the fuel tank out of this mower with 4 bolts. They literally do it in like 30 seconds. And when the fuel tank's out, you can get into the hydros, change a hydro belt. You can get all to this right side of this engine to change spark plugs and things. This one is more tucked up in here. So the motor sits over the top of the deck. Changing the belt involves getting very close to your muffler and getting burned. The spindles on a Scag are a point of contention. There are a lot of people that are not happy with Scag spindle. Scag uses a long through bolt all the way to the top, and so you loosen this nut and the bolt falls all the way out through the bottom. To change the blade on your center spindle, you need
2 ants.
about an 88-inch wingspan to reach the middle. Toro is just a bolt from the bottom only. You don't need to be top and bottom to get your blades on and off.
Anytime a customer comes in and wants us to do a blade sharpen on a Scag, we almost want to charge more because it is a lot more difficult. If you're out in the field, changing it in a parking lot, on top of your trailer gate, all that kind of stuff, you're gonna have far more headaches. There's things to lose. You can lose a bushing, you can lose your nut, you can lose a lot of stuff that's critical for that to operate that day. And that's a frustrating thing about the Scag, is the way those spindles are made. And I do think, as far as serviceability goes, just from a service mindset, I would much prefer to work on a Grandstand than the V-Ride.
All of the covers that are missing on this particular one are all bolted on with these Tommy knobs, so it's not quick to get the covers off.
Yeah, he leaves them off because he wants to keep this deck clean, and he says it's a pain in the butt to take them on and off.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
We did the hill with both these machines. This hill is sketchy, guys. Holy moly, I don't recommend you do this kind of hill with this type of machine. But we were just trying really hard to see how high I could go and what are the limitations of these machines. The Grandstand has a bigger wheelbase. The front tires are wider, the rear tires felt wider. It felt longer, it had more forward weight. It felt more secure on that hill for sure. I had a much safer body position because of this rear platform, and it felt much more safe for me, and I could step on and off and operate it on that hill as I felt like a little bit risky or in danger. With the Scag, I was leaning into it. I'm standing on my tippy toes trying to put my weight more forward, and it felt like there was nothing I could do to get any further forward. It felt far more sketchy, and though it climbed the hill decently well, there were moments just at the bottom of the hill where it was losing traction where it shouldn't have been. I did notice that these VPO tires, I wonder how well it would have performed on that hill without them, because these tires got some grip. Like, I was impressed with that. I mean, there was one part where my front tires were in a big dip and these things were grabbing, and you could dig a hole with these if you needed to. But they have really good traction. But just the general center of gravity of the Grandstand, I like it better. I like being able to step on and off. I like the way it felt on the hill.
My final point would be that these two machines are both really good. We enjoyed cutting with both of them. We were shocked at how well they handled thick grass. And even though we're nitpicking features back and forth, if you have a bad to the bone Scag dealer from near to your house, it's nice people and it's clean and they take care of their customers, do not go out of your way to buy a Toro. Buy that Scag from your good dealer. And vice versa. If you have a good Toro dealer in your town, buy the Toro, regardless of 1.5 horsepower or whatever feature it is that you like. The dealer is the great equalizer. You're gonna need your dealer. You're gonna love your mower more if you have a good dealer to work with.
100%. Guys, thanks for watching. If you thought this video was helpful, please click that like button, subscribe, tell your friends. We had a lot of fun doing it. This was one of our friends and locals who reached out to us, said, hey, Chip, you can use my V-Ride. So thank you so much, Philip, for letting us use it at Dino's Land Care here in Central Florida. If you're looking for a landscaper and you don't want to cut your own grass, check out Dino's. He's using this Scag. Guys, thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned for more amazing and fun content like this.